Buccaneers, welcome back. Oh, hey, welcome back. Oh my gosh, I just shook the whole trailer. The competition shook. Okay, so I woke up like not too long ago and it's like noon. Look at my hair, y'all. Oh my god. I woke up and I wrote a poem, so I wanted to share it with y'all. So think of this as like slam poetry. This is my little manifestation journal, but I wrote a poem in it this morning. Okay. Also, welcome back everyone, and I love you and I really appreciate all the comments. And I just posted a video yesterday and I already want to upload this one already because I know people have been asking me to post more and I really need to post more, so I'm going to post more. I'm going to do it because what you're not changing, you're choosing, and that's not okay with me, so it's time for some change. Okay, we got Pablo here, of course. Always. Pablo's always here. And even when Pablo's not here, he's here in spirit. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put him down for this. Okay, I wrote this morning. I'm like, can you tell I've had a rough morning? Who Snapchatted me? Oh. Okay. Why am I nervous? Guys, why am I nervous? Okay. Okay. Sometimes you're 17, standing in the kitchen of your mom's house, wondering how the people who are supposed to love you can be so mean to you. How you will one day get out of that black hole that is your childhood home. How you used to love Christmas 5 years ago, but now can't stand the sight of it. How there were walls that watched your mom abuse you when she drank too much. How she always drank too much. How you went out every night last week with older guys even though you had school the next day. How you would do anything with anyone just to get away from that house. How last summer your best friend left you to die when you had alcohol poisoning and now you don't talk anymore. How you've straightened your hair every day for the last 4 years because boys like it better that way. How the door hinges of your new house aren't broken. How sticking up for yourself is easier now that you love yourself. How maybe you don't have to be jealous anymore when you see a mother and daughter eating lunch together. How you still feel guilty knowing you couldn't save her. How you pick yourself up out of every dark place you've ever been in. How your strength has inspired people. How you still flinch when a door slams. How you were 17 and didn't want to be alive anymore. How then you didn't know someday you'll be 23. Standing in the kitchen wondering if you put sugar or salt in your coffee. Snaps all around. Yeah, I wrote that this morning. And yeah, I don't know. I saw a version of this on Instagram. It popped up on Instagram and the first line was, sometimes you're 17 standing in the kitchen. And then I literally just had the idea to just go. I really like it a lot because it's kind of like, oh, you were 17 and you didn't want to be alive, and now you're standing in the kitchen being like, oh, did I put salt or sugar in my coffee? When you were just standing in the kitchen 6 years ago of a house you didn't want to be alive in, wondering why these people aren't treating you with respect and kindness and love. The people who are supposed to love you, how can they be so fucking cruel to you? But then now today to be 23 and standing in the kitchen where it's like, oh, did I put sugar in my coffee or salt? So that's the vibe for today, y'all. I've also been super into affirmations lately. So some of the things that I like to say to myself are I am extremely lucky, I am priceless, I deserve kindness and respect, I am hilarious and very witty, I am the shit, I am businesswoman, I am businesswoman, everyone wants to be my friend. Yeah, so those are just some affirmations. I also like to list stuff that I'm grateful for. Well, and I'll tell you one thing I've been really grateful for lately. Music. I've been so grateful for music lately. Okay, so when there's a really good song that comes on that you feel it inside your body, you get this feeling of like euphoria, or I don't know, it almost feels like you have like full body chills from head to toe, because the music, the song that you're listening to is so perfect in explaining what you have been through before that you just feel it, and you get this sense of like, oh my god, like I genuinely I can feel that music like through my body, and it's like feels like euphoric, like you're connecting with something. And I love that feeling so much. I don't know how often people experience that feeling, but I feel like I experience that feeling every day, and maybe it's because I'm constantly listening to music. Just like I always have my headphones on, and if not, I drive around like a lot. Like I love my car. I love driving around. It's definitely a comfort thing, obviously, but I've been so grateful for music lately. I would love to make music one day. I don't even know if I've told you all this, but I mentioned it a couple times. I'm writing two books right now. One book is about the relationship I had with a sociopath from ages 15 to 18, and how oh my gosh, he altered my brain chemistry for the rest of my life. Like, that man fully had his like claws in my brain and like scrambled it up. And now I have brain damage forever. So, yeah. But I'm writing a whole book about it because the things that man did to me were insane, or so insane. Remember one time he sent me a video of him hooking up with another girl because he thought it was funny. Yeah, sociopath. Yeah, crazy. Crazy guy. Crazy guy. I also like hear stuff about him because he's still stuck in Humble, and he probably will be for the rest of his life. Um, but I remember like everyone who knew him from high school would be like, "Oh yeah, he's either gonna be dead or in jail in the next couple years," and he's still not dead or in jail. But here's hoping. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Allegedly. But yeah, that man was horrible. I've written a lot of stuff about him. I just haven't shared it online. Since I'm writing a book about him and I've been writing it for the past like year, it's just sometimes it's really hard to sit down and write because I have to put myself back in that headspace, that really dark headspace of where he did all these things to me. It's kind of like I'm also writing a book about my mom, and because her life story is just crazy, and I literally got front row tickets to the downfall of my own mother. Like, that's what my life has been. I had front row seats to watch the downfall of my mother. Like, no wonder I am the way that I am. Like, oh, holy when I sit down to write that book about my mom, and then the book about the guy, both I have to put myself in a really dark headspace for, because that's the headspace I was in when I was going through all of that, and they did everything that they did to me. And sometimes I get so overwhelmed by my day, or like if I go to work and like a bunch of customers were really rude to me, or just life happens, and you don't want to put yourself in that dark headspace because maybe you were already in a dark headspace that day and you just want to sit down and smoke a bowl and watch your favorite TV show. But I need to be more comfortable with being uncomfortable and putting myself in those dark headspaces, because I feel like for me, sometimes when I get depressed, I get extremely comfortable in that depression. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to get out of bed because this is comfortable. And it's almost like I sit and dwell in this sadness and build it up in my head, even though I shouldn't be doing that, but it's like comfortable to me. Like in high school, I'd be so depressed I wouldn't go to school for like weeks at a time, and I would just rot away in bed, not eating, like just not doing anything. And my mom would be asleep all day because she would be drunk all the time and then sleep during the day. Um, so there was no one ever keeping me accountable except my school counselor. Oh my god, she was a saint. When I tell you guys, I was in her office. I was in that counseling office almost every day crying. Like I'll put up the screenshots. I was in her office every day just playing with her Zen garden. She'd give me a granola bar because like my mom wouldn't feed me. And like she was such a saint. Mind you, I lived 1 block away from my high school. I lived 1 block away from my high school. So like it should have not been a problem for me to like get up and walk to school, but it was like the biggest problem ever. And when you're in that depression, when you're in that anxiety, when you're in that fight or flight survival mode your whole life, it's so hard to get yourself up and do something. Especially going to school. I hated going to school. At first I loved it. I remember freshman year I loved high school because it was an escape from my house and I got to see all my friends. And then sophomore year happened and people were horrible and I had all that beef with the football team and getting bullied. So it was, it was just, I hated it. I hated going to school after like sophomore year and up to senior year. And my school counselor would walk to my house. She'd walk to my house and would knock on my bedroom window and make me go to school so that I could graduate, because it was set at my senior year, and I was even taking AP classes. I've always taken AP classes. Like, I'm very smart, but I never wanted to go to school, and I would miss a lot of school, like a lot, especially like senior year. I would pretty much just gave up on life. I wanted to die, honestly. Like, I did not want to be in my mom's house. I didn't want to be alive. I just did not. And I remember I was just like rotting away in bed, and this one morning she came and I heard a knock on my window, and I was like, the fuck? Who's knocking on my window at like 8 in the morning? And it was my school counselor, and she literally came to my house, knocked on my bedroom window, and was like, I know everything you're going through, but you have to graduate. Like, I know this all doesn't feel good, but you gotta graduate. But at that point, it was like I was so effed up in the head with everything that had happened to me. I was like, who cares about graduating from high school? The fuck? Who cares about a piece of paper when I want to die? Like, who cares about school when I want to die, bro? Like, what? What do you mean? But she did exactly that. She walked me to school that day, told me everything was going to be okay, and she really just helped me through it. And I ended up dropping like all my AP classes except for 2, because the AP teachers who were teaching them had a deal with me where I didn't have to show up the rest of the year. Like, my teachers saw like half my teachers saw like, oh, this girl is up. This girl is getting up at home. Let's just give her a break. And dude, when you are so unbelievably down bad and feel so alone and feel like there's no way you're getting out of this, and then there's these people that show up for you in ways where you needed someone to show up for you, and these people, even if they don't know you the best, or they're not blood related to you, or maybe they don't even have a reason to help you, and they just choose to help you and lift you up and be like, hey, I see you, and I'm gonna give you a break. Like holy shit, that is powerful. That is so powerful. I'm so thankful that there were those teachers and like that school counselor. I don't want to say her name because I don't want to, out her, because I think she still works there. Like, those are the kinds of people that save your life in these little ways, and oftentimes those little ways matter the most. So yeah, that I was really, really, really thankful for that. And I did end up graduating, barely. Barely. I dropped pretty much all my classes. I would only go to school for 6th period, which was the last period for AP Gov. I would fill out packets. I ended up having to like fill out a bunch of packets so I can graduate, which was crazy. Those people who just see you for the struggles you're going through and see you for the person that you are and choose to help you when they don't have a reason to, like, what angels of this earth are, like that's just amazing. And I try to do that for other people when I can, or I try to be nice to everyone when I can, because you literally never know what someone's going through. Like, even at the grocery store, I'll just like smile at people, or I'll just be like, how's your day going? Like, and I'll just like pretend that I've known them forever, because maybe they needed that someday, and maybe I needed that day too, and that's why I'm talking to them, and just, I'm getting emotional. But like, oh my god, people being kind and like little acts of kindness like makes me emotional. I love it, because Like, I remember when I was living in my car, and I would go to this grocery store every day called Sprouts. So I would sleep at this park, and I'd wake up at like 7 or 8 a.m. every morning because I'm kind of waking up with the sun since I'm in my car. And so I would always wake up having to pee so bad, and the park was like right next to Sprouts and all these other grocery stores. So I'd go to Sprouts, I'd go pee, I'd brush my teeth, and I'd get my breakfast, and then I'd sit in my car, eat my breakfast. I would always get the same thing. I'd always get this little lunch box, and it had chicken, eggs, grapes, and nuts. And it made me full till lunch. And then after I ate my breakfast, I'd start Instacarting. I'd Instacart mostly at Sprouts, especially because like rich people would tip a lot, and rich people love organic food, so I'd always try to go to the organic stores. The city that I was homeless in was called Folsom, and Folsom is like a very rich area, and it was so fun having to like Instacart, and then I'd go to like these $1 million houses in these like $1 million gated communities, and I would just see these beautiful mansions, and these people would tip me like $20. I would look at all these houses and be like, I remember at first I'd be confused. I'd be like, how do people have money like this? Like, I don't understand. Like, how does this happen? And then a part of it was very inspiring, and it was like, I can be here one day. I can't give up. I remember I wanted to give up so bad. Like, in my homeless documentary, there's videos of me being like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I just want to give up. And I remember, like, my family at the time who, I don't want to say abandoned because I'm like cool with all of them now, you know, and it feels weird to like say that online, then be like, see them at like a family dinner and be like, oh hey. So I don't want to say they abandoned me, but like, if the shoe fits, if the shoe fits, honey. No, I still have a really hard time getting over that. Oh, I'll talk about this. So during Christmas, this was 4 months ago, all of my cousins and everything, like I still have a really hard time getting over that like when I was homeless for those 4 months, my brothers didn't talk to me, my cousins didn't talk to me, like no one like gave a and they were just like, go to a homeless shelter. And it seems like they thought I was crazy, and then when I made it out of homelessness and picked myself up from the darkest depths of hell once again, they didn't think I was crazy anymore. They thought I was a genius. You know, like, you're considered crazy until it works out, and then you're a genius. And then people love you again, and they want you back in their lives. And they're like, oh, you actually are a really good person, didn't deserve that. My bad. My bad. You actually weren't on drugs when you were homeless, even though people thought you were. That's actually crazy. Okay, wait, anyways, back to the Christmas thing. So, we all got together for Christmas. Like, all my cousins and, like, all my brothers, everything. And I have a lot of cousins and a lot of brothers. So, and they're all way older than me. I'm the youngest by far. Like, they're all in their, like, 30s, pretty much. Late 20s, 30s, early 40s. And, okay, so if you know from the night I became homeless, I was living at my cousin's house with his ex-wife. And me and his ex-wife got in this huge blowout argument, and she scared the living shit out of me. She scared the living shit out of me. I was very scared. And by blowout argument, I mean I was nonverbal and not saying anything and crying, and then she was freaking out on me and screaming at me, and I was really, really scared. And then when I tried to leave with all my stuff, she blocked the door and like wouldn't let me leave. It was just scary. It was just scary. And she's his ex-wife now, so she's not a part of the family. And we had this argument when we were alone at the house together, so like no one knew what happened. But she told my family her version of the story, and that kind of played a part in them not talking to me. And then now everyone knows she's cuckoo crazy. And I'm like, yeah, because I had left so many different places that they were all only looking at like, they were looking at me as the common denominator and being like, oh, well, she's obviously the problem if she's left all these different places. And it's like, no, actually, I was just being treated like shit at all these different places and had to leave. But then, like, I was the one being blamed for it, which is absolutely insane. But anyways, I hadn't seen this woman in 3 years. since that day that I got in the argument with her. Since that very day, I hadn't seen her. And she shows up on Christmas. And I go, I'm sitting there with all my cousins in the living room and stuff. She walks through the door and I go, who the fuck invited this bitch? I go, sir, who invited this bitch? What? Why are we inviting my number one public enemy to family dinner? Why are we doing that? Guys, this is not helping my abandonment issues. Because literally, she walks through the door, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna happen again. My whole family's gonna turn against me, and like it was like PTSD, if that makes sense. Like, she walked through the door, and it was just like, like I'm about to get stabbed, or like like my whole family's gonna abandon me again, and you know, I was just honestly having like PTSD, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I'm looking at my cousins, like I'm like making eye contact with them, and I'm like, are y'all like seeing this too? Am I hallucinating? Like, am I crazy for thinking this is crazy for her to just be here when she turned my whole family against me? Like, it seemed I felt betrayed, even though it wasn't their fault, you know. And I ended up finding out that my aunt invited her, but my aunt just didn't understand that I would have that reaction. She just didn't understand. And I totally get that. And I love my aunt so much, and she's an angel on this earth, and that's okay, and that's not her fault. And she was just trying to be nice and invite her because I don't think she has family, and her mom had passed away, so she was just trying to be nice. But for me, I'm over there like manual breathing. I'm over there huffing and puffing, just being like, I'm like looking at my cousin from across the table, and Amanda's like, do you want to go outside? And I'm like, yeah, I need some fresh air. So I go outside, and I'm like, I'm absolutely tweaking. I'm absolutely tweaking, because imagine seeing the person that turned your whole family against you, that started the darkest, like that person started the butterfly effect of the darkest period of my life, of the most loneliness I've ever felt, the darkest, the most horrible I've ever felt in my life, the most alone, the most like betrayed I've ever felt. And this person is just here. This person is just here now, right in front of my eyes after like 3 years. And I'm outside, I'm like huffing and puffing, I'm like talking to my cousin, and I'm like explaining like how I'm feeling and everything. And I don't know why, but like since we were outside, everyone else came outside, like all my other cousins, and then she stayed inside, and we were all in a circle, and I'm just like tweaking, which is like honestly really embarrassing, because it's not any of their fault that she was there, like, but in my head it felt like a betrayal, if that makes sense. And I was just scared, honestly. We were all standing in a circle, and I was like, why is she here? Did y'all know that she would be here? I'm so triggered right now. Like, I feel like I'm like having PTSD, and I'm like, say that out loud. And then all my cousins in this circle are just like looking down at the ground, and just like, oh, like they don't really know what to say. And I'm just like, god damn it, dude. Like, god damn it, dude. This is so embarrassing. Like, God. And they were really nice though, but you could tell they all felt bad. But then it's like, I don't know, I feel like whenever I bring up that I was homeless, that like, no, everyone like shuts down. And I don't know, maybe it's because they feel bad, even though at the end of the day it is not their fault. Someone else can't save me. And I think I expected like my brothers or my cousins to save me when I was homeless, but the only person who was going to save me and get me out of it was me. But it would have helped if they were a bit more supportive and a bit more there for me, rather than just being like, oh, go to a homeless shelter. Like, I don't have I can't help you. Like that hurt. But like, I'm scared to talk about it with them now, because it's like, well, we all moved on, I think, and it's like 3 years later, but like, gosh, I'm still hurt. Like, I still have abandonment issues from that. Like, I'm still scared that like, I'm always scared something is going to be ripped out from under me, whether it's like where I'm living, but whether it's like and it's so hard to rewire your brain and be like, these people are not out to get me. These people are not going to abandon me. But then when that's all you've ever known, oh my gosh, it's so hard to change that way of thinking. But I'm working on it. It's something that I'm working on. And once you're self aware about something, you then have the power to change it. And I've always said that. And that's been very true. Like, whenever I have a problem that I want to change within myself, I talk about it over and over and over, because then I'm self-aware about it, and then I'm talking about it, which makes me want to change it. Anyways, that's my little rant for the day. it's a little bit about just like what's been on my mind today, and I'm gonna get this uploaded ASAP. Because I love you guys, and I want to kiss every one of you on the forehead with permission. I just love you guys. I love talking to you guys. I know I say it every time, but like, oh my god, y'all's comments like genuinely just like y'all saved me. Y'all saved me. Y'all have no idea how powerful your kind words impact me, and the people who comment such kind things, I bet you don't even know that you're a light for other people in your life, and that when you say those kind things to people, I bet you have no idea the impact it has. And I just want you to know it has a huge impact on me and probably other people in your life. So I really appreciate you, and yeah, I love you guys so much. Pablo says goodbye. Don't go back to our old place, it's probably locked up anyway. Bet it still looks the same as when I ran away that day. It doesn't matter anyway, 'cause I'm happy here. Yes, I'm happy here. Okay, bye guys, I love you. Have a freaking fantastic day. Be kind, make people's days, spread that positivity, because someone could probably be really depressed, and literally if you just say, I like your shoes, King, it probably makes them not want to kill themselves anymore. So be kind. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.